after you've established your cryptocurrency node or master node, you will start to accrue rewards. And I've been running this now since my last withdrawal for around 10, 11 days, and I've picked up 10.86 energy. Okay, so what do I do with that? Well, I can either just leave it there and wait for it to accrue to a point where I want to do something with it, or maybe I want to add another masternode. So if I left this for 3.5 years, I'll be able to run another masternode on top of, because it takes 1,000 energy in order to run a masternode. Or you can view that as free capital and actually transfer it to an exchange and buy a cheaper cryptocurrency using your effectively free funds in order to make the most out of it. Now, obviously, we're talking in percentage terms here. Energy is currently worth around about $3 to $4. Okay, so if I bought something that was less than 10 cents, I could actually double or triple my money very, very quickly. Whereas to double or triple my money using energy is going to take a lot more capital, obviously, because the unit cost is a lot higher. Okay, to get a token from $3 to $6 is going to take a lot more capital than to get a token from 10 cents to 20 cents, as long as the market capitalization and total number of tokens are relatively similar. Okay, so my preference for this and all of my masternode holdings is to either collect them and sell them into USD if the token is particularly attractive in terms of price at the time, and either stake that on a platform like Nexo or Celsius or Crypto.com and earn 12-14% interest on it, or to exchange it into a cheaper cryptocurrency. Now, there are no hard and fast rules on how to do this. I generally choose a cryptocurrency that I think has a lot of long-term potential, and maybe I want to get to 100,000 of it. So something like ZIL or Dragon Chain or CRO, for example, will be worth doing this with, and putting your effectively free money into a masternode in the future, effectively. I did this a lot to get to my 100,000 CRO, where I just sell systematically from my masternodes into CRO at an arbitrary point, because obviously it is free capital, so the price doesn't really make too much difference, but it does help you to get to that big number, that 100,000 tokens that you might need for another masternode or another stake, basically. Okay, so I'm going to actually withdraw these now. Okay, so I'm going to go to my wallet and go to my recent transactions. This is one that I did a little while ago that I'm going to be demonstrating with. I'm going to copy my address across, and I'm going to input it in here. Now, the thing about energy and the thing about the network that you need to look at is that sometimes it can take a long time to transfer your assets around. With energy in particular, it takes 5,000 confirmations to appear on your wallet, on your exchange accounts. Okay, that is a security feature to make sure that any transfers, if they are done to an exchange, are legitimate and real. So it's going to take around 3.5 days to actually transfer my 10 tokens. So I'm not particularly interested in doing this in record time by paying a high amount of gas, but I'm going to pay the cheapest amount of gas possible, and you can only send whole energy. You can't send point or half or quarter. Okay, so I'm going to withdraw 10 energy over to my KuCoin account, and remember, you need to work out where you can actually send your tokens and which exchanges are actually going to be utilizing the token. And I'm going to send it for the minimum fee, because it's not going to happen very quickly at all. In actual fact, it's going to take 3.5 days to send because of that confirmation that is needed. Okay, so I'm going to send that now. That's going to be broadcast to the network. I'm going to pay a tiny fee of 0.00021 energy, so very, very small indeed, and I'm going to broadcast that to the network now. So that's gone. Okay, so it might take 3 hours or over 3 hours to actually show up on the exchange tool, and then it will take a long time, 3.5 days or 5,000 confirmations, roughly one confirmation a minute, to actually appear and be secured on the exchange. You can now see my account balance has returned to zero. This is my energy wallet, which is the equivalent of the Syscoin Core wallet, which is the equivalent of the Polis wallet we saw in the second module of this course. And you can do all sorts of things with this, because it is a slightly more advanced system than Polis use. You can create a new wallet, you can create contracts, you can sign and verify messages, you can find out the transaction status of a transaction, and you can even broadcast transactions as well. So if I go into my recent transactions, I can now see that my 10 energy has moved over, and I can actually find out all the information that I need, and I can even see that it's been successful. Okay, so I'm going to come out of the core wallet now and actually show you what happened to those 15, or what I'm going to do with those 15 energy that I withdrew some time ago. And I'm actually going to demonstrate selling out of energy into a cheaper cryptocurrency to make more out of my masternode earnings. So those 15 energy that I withdrew 2 weeks ago have been sat on my wallet now for a little while. They're worth around about 27.67 GBP at the moment. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to buy some more Dragon Chain using them. Okay, so the difference between energy and Dragon Chain is quite severe at the moment. Dragon Chain is around about 30 cents, 25 cents or so. Energy is, as I say, around about $2.50 to $3 depending on the price action. And what you want to do is you can't necessarily always transfer between assets directly. Okay, if I go to trade on here, I can only trade energy against Ethereum and against Bitcoin, and I can only trade Dragon Chain against Ethereum and against Bitcoin. So what I need to do, it doesn't really matter which one I choose because I'm purely going to be transferring the value between the two of them. But say, for example, I happen to know that Ethereum has dropped quite a lot today, and so has Bitcoin. So I'm going to click on Ethereum, just because I think the liquidity on Ethereum will be slightly higher than Bitcoin at present. That's going to load my trading interface, where I can actually see what the actual trading environment looks like at present. Okay, so we can see that each energy is currently worth £1.83. And we are kind of at an all-time low. So the purpose of this demonstration exercise is kind of a little bit moot, because you generally would only do this if you're, kind of getting a really good return and reward for your assets. So I'm actually going to be getting a fairly poor rate of return by sending this out here. But that's not the point of doing this, okay? The point of doing this is to accrue a certain amount of capital with which you're going to be trading with. Okay, so you can effectively view it as free money, okay, which enables you to get around the kind of FOMO, or the fear, uncertainty and doubt element of building a sizable position in a cryptocurrency that you don't really completely know about is going to be successful in the long term. Effectively, it's risk free, so you're not really concerned about getting the best rate of return. This, for all you know, this could continue its decline. In actual fact, it does look quite weak, and you can only get half of your value out of this. So after I've put my trading password in, I can choose to sell my 15 energy. Okay, so if I go to, I generally choose to do markets on this as opposed to anything else. I can select to sell my 15 energy and get an appropriate amount of Ethereum, with which then I can buy Dragon Chain. Okay, I can look, if I really want to, at Bitcoin as well. Okay, so if I want to type in BTC, if I want to type in NRG, you will start with the trading asset versus BTC. There we go. And I can actually see that I might get a slightly better rate with Bitcoin. Yeah, okay, so I'm getting an extra penny effectively. So I'm going to make an extra 15 pence. Not that it really matters with something as small as this, but I can sell that out. So I can sell, market sell, because I'm not really interested in the price, because I'm just doing a transfer. It doesn't really make much difference if I have, liquidity or not. I'm going to sell my 15 energy for an appropriate amount of Bitcoin. I can actually see here the Bitcoin value is a little bit better than the Ethereum value. So I'm actually going to sell that now. There we go. That's gone through. So that has now been sold. And you get a nice ding from the exchange. So I should now have on my balance an appropriate amount of BTC. So I'm now going to go BTC and Dragon. And Dragon BTC. Let's just type in the Let's see what we got here. Okay, great. Okay, so Dragon BTC, and I'm going to buy the equivalent of however many Dragon chain I can actually buy for the appropriate amount of BTC. So I'm going to go to market again. I'm going to click buy, and I'm going to buy 86,000 Satoshis worth of Dragon chain for a market price roughly 412 or 411 Satoshi each. And if we go there, we can actually look at that. Going to ding again, and I can now go back to my assets on my trading account, and I should be able to see that I have accrued a number of Dragon chain effectively entirely for free. So I believe the token amount that I had before was 11,508. I now have 11,718. So I've made around about 210 Dragon chain in that transaction. So I've taken my 15 energy and I've sold them for 210 Dragon chain. So that means that the unit amount that I have has increased dramatically, and obviously the cost of that has been completely for free. So I'm 210 Dragon chain closer to my target, which is 100,000 obviously, and over the course of the next 6-12 months I might get arguably a little bit closer to owning that. I've also got another 50,000 stored elsewhere that I'm currently earning time on. So in total I have 61,718 Dragon chain. Now you can do this with any cryptocurrency, and obviously it doesn't have to be energy. It could be Syscoin, it could be any of the master nodes that I demonstrated in the previous video. But the point is, you sell out your quote-unquote free masternode earnings, and you buy another cryptocurrency that necessarily you don't earn anything on, that you want to target. You know, you could do this with CRO, where you want to get to a certain amount of CRO in order to obtain certain perks. You could do this with Zilliqa. You could do this with any particular token. Maybe even do it with Nexo or Celsius token if you want to target those higher interest rates or lower fee rates for borrowing and lending appropriately. Okay. You can also do this with more expensive tokens as well. It doesn't have to be cheaper. I just choose to go in that direction because I want to make the most out of my capital. If you choose, for example, to sell your energy for Ethereum, for example, then obviously it's going to take you a lot longer, but the risk versus reward ratio might be something that's more favorable to you. Maybe you're trying to get to 32 Ethereum, for example, and you've got 30, and you just need something with which to build up over time where you're enabling yourself to accrue extra interest. Maybe you've also got a Nexo account or Crypto.com Earn, enabling you to earn your cryptocurrency over time as well. Basically, the Crypto Cascade takes your free masternode earnings and turns them into something more powerful with better tokenomics and better potential for making money quicker through tokenomics. So reducing the total amount of capital that is in high valuation tokens. Okay, so selling $100 tokens for $10, $10 tokens for $1 tokens, and $1 tokens for 10-cent tokens. Always moving in that direction will mean that as the cryptocurrency ecosystem develops and certain projects accrue higher market capitalizations with fewer units, you will actually make more money overall than you would if you were just to stick to one particular project.